Let's get right to what America's talking about. Donald Trump makes himself Batman, and the nation's capital is Gotham City. The president of the United States has declared himself crime fighter in chief, and he's taking over Washington's police force. It is a move that the D.C. mayor is calling unsettling and unprecedented.
Batman! 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 These images are courtesy of Grok, by the way. I asked Grok to make some images of Trump and J.D. Vance as Batman and Robin cleaning up D.C. That's why they're holding brooms in the image. Not exactly what I meant. I guess I should have been a little bit more literal. But anyways, what's up? It's Red Channels, here to tell you that Trump has apparently placed the DC police under federal control. Liberals are seething. Very funny, very interesting. He has also stated that he's willing to do this in other major cities. So without further ado, please give this video a like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Consider donating to me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Leave a negative comment to put hateful energy out into the world. And without further ado, let's dive right in.
I think it's really important to be clear about what is going on here. And a relatively small crime problem is being used for specific authoritarian purposes that we know and understand. So let's be clear about D.C. does have one really big crime problem, which was the January 6th insurrection incited by the current president of the United States. And his first act in coming back was pardoning all the people who tried to overturn constitutional republic order in Washington, D.C. When I go to D.C., I'm not afraid of losing my wallet so much as I'm afraid of losing my vote. I'm not afraid of losing my wallet so much as I'm afraid that my children's freedom to breathe will be stolen in a world where climate change policy is non-existent. I'm afraid that the future of middle-class people will be stolen by the very things you were talking about, cutting the safety net, cutting Medicaid, cutting rural hospitals.
Right.
So there is carjacking.
And of course,
let me just finish. There is a carjacking going on.
But you got to worry about two things. You got to worry about two things at the same time.
Let me just finish my point.
This is how out of touch the liberal elite are. And I think you can see, I think that was Morning Joe Scarborough trying to break in there. You can worry about two things at the same time. Climate change is real, but crime is real too. No one's going to care about climate change. Individuals do not have the power, to stop global climate change. Not to mention, it's not even the U.S. anymore. The most polluted rivers in the world are basically all in Africa or Asia. But, it's not even in the individual's power. Me getting one of those stupid cardboard straws they have in restaurants in California now, instead of a plastic straw. That's not going to save the planet. People who do that are performative. And it's completely idiotic. And stuff like this is why liberals lost the last election. Why they lost the popular vote of the last election. Because, this level of denial is, quite frankly, sinister. You'll go to them and their first refrain is basically to say that, crime is actually low. We have eyes and ears. We can see, we've seen videos of empty shelves, and we've been to these cities. I've been to these cities. I've been to a major city recently. I went to New York, and there's a fentanyl addicted homeless man that urinated in public in front of me. I'm not even kidding. That, and you're telling me that, I'm crazy. I'm buying into the right-wing populist fear-mongering for thinking, yeah, this city's taking a turn for the seedier. There's probably some crime afoot. There's probably some other rules being broken here by all these druggies and all these illegals and just the general disrespect for law and order that goes on in these cities. But anyway, we can go ahead and take a quick look at how some DC residents are apparently reacting to the situation.
They have in mind.
You talking about the crime. The crime is when you let the people out that done messed up January the 6th. He's acting out of spite. I don't know what for. I feel like he has something to prove.
I think it's important that we uplift those children and focus on why this is happening. You know, maybe we need to implement more programs. Maybe Trump needs to implement more programs and focus on that.
More programs means more money. Just give us free stuff. That's their solution. We don't have enough free stuff. That's why the city's the way it is. We need more free stuff.
We have home rule for a reason.
Because if it's safety and crime the president is worried about, Green has some thoughts to add to his agenda.
Or is he going to come pick up our trash next? Is that what I should expect? We do have areas with high grass that he can cut. I have infrastructure problems in my community. Can he put some funding on the table for that?
He shouldn't be making those kind of decisions. That's more like a dictator.
Gotti thinks that if this is the way the administration is going to continue...
Everybody now is in like a big old gumbo pot of, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's in it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You don't know what you're going to get served.
So starting today at 12 giant grocery stores in D.C. and Maryland, if you have a bag over 14 inches, you cannot take it inside the store. So what does that look like? Here's a backpack, 14 inches. This one can't go in. Also, if you're under 18 years old, you cannot go into the store after 6 p.m. without an adult. Giant store leaders say it is all because of thieves, and shoppers we spoke to say all these new rules, these are a small price to pay.
It's a private business. They can set their own rules.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like it, shop somewhere else. It would also keep prices down for us as a consumer. And I think the stores are trying to do the best that they can to help the consumer out. And if that's what it takes, then that's what they have to do.
I'm for anything that works. If it makes anything better for the community, and if it works for the kids, to keep the kids from coming in, I think because you should teach the kids not to steal. So anything,
simple, right?
Yeah, anything that works for the community and everybody else.
It's unfortunate because apparently a lot of theft has been happening, and that's the reason why. So they got to do something. Otherwise, we won't have a giant. So to prevent it from closing, I don't blame them. They got to do what they got to do.
Crime is down, according to Democrats, but theft is rampant, actually. And you know what? Case in point, there was, during 2024, there was this vote in California that I think moved shoplifting something over $500 up from, I don't know, I don't think it was a misdemeanor, but it moved it up to like a felony. And that was every single county in California voted in favor of making this penalty harsher. Even though California still went blue in 2024, obviously. And it's interesting because it really shows the cognitive dissonance here of the corporate leftists that appeal to statistics that allege that crime is down, because you have a blue state. You have every county in a blue state voting to penalize theft more harshly. Why? Because everyone in that state knows that state's got a problem with theft. Crime is up. Stealing is up. But as you know, liberals will not engage in any sort of critical self-reflection to examine why this was even the case. It won't even be an example in their minds. This is something they don't even remember or focus on. Instead, they're going to seethe and moan and complain that finally someone's doing something about crime in this nation's capital.
Nothing like declaring a fake state of emergency to give a president extraordinary powers. It's literally how Mustache Man seized power in the 1930s. According to the DOJ's own website, DC is at a historic low for crime. Wake the fuck up, MAGA. You know, I follow Fox News because I really wanted to see what kind of bullshit they fed you guys. Like, I really wanted to know, like, where the hell are you guys getting all these crazy things you're always spouting on the internet? They literally tell you shit on Facebook, which is where most of you like to go. They tell you shit, slap it on a picture, and then you believe it. They don't provide articles. They don't provide research. They don't provide anything to back up any of their claims ever. And you all just fucking believe it. There has never, ever, ever been any proof or stats. Like I said, the own DOJ website said that crime is at an all-time low. But all Trump had to do was open his mouth and say, crime is horrible, so I'm going to put out the National Guard. And you all fucking believed it. He has done so many things that literally copy the fucking playbook of the mustache man in the 30s. And you all just want to choose to ignore it. I mean, I'd like to know at this point, what is it going to take? He even fucking played your asses with the whole files thing. You guys just let that sweep right under the fucking rug. It's exhausting.
One of the reasons I've never respected liberals is because they're so intellectually lazy and bankrupt and dishonest. Like the structure of the GOP, the Republican Party in contemporary America today, is nothing at all like the NSDAP in 30s Germany. This lady is talking about, oh man, he's copying out of Mustache Man's playbook. Come on. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Getting the police to clean up an obviously crime-ridden city. We've seen videos. We've heard testimonies. On the website it says this. Maybe the government lies from time to time. Maybe certain government agencies don't fully tell the truth on their websites. Have you considered that? Have you thought about that? Is that a possibility that's crossed your mind, lady?
What's your sense of how this will work?
Well, I will tell you, after listening to the press conference yesterday, I feel much better this morning. Just in the last 24 hours, Chief Pam Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department has spoken with Terry Cole, the interim commissioner for the Metropolitan Police Department, at least for the next 30 days. They have spoken. They have Mr. Cole has told Chief Smith that we would like MPD to lead this effort. He wants this to be a collaboration, and frankly, that's the only way I see this as being successful. As a former police chief, if somebody would have come to me and said, "Hey, we're going to bring 500,000 more law enforcement officers in to assist you," what's not to like about that? You could certainly make an impact on crime with that kind of surge. But this is going to be a temporary thing. Make no mistake about that. This is not something that can be sustained over a long period of time. So
Chief, good morning.
I'm very...
Sorry, Chief, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged that that Chief Smith and Mr. Cole have talked about this being a collaboration, and that MPD is going to basically lead the decisions on how these resources are deployed.
You don't think more police make streets safer?
No, Joe. I'm a black woman in America. I do not always think that more police make streets safer. When you walk down the streets of Georgetown, you don't see a police officer on every corner, but you don't feel unsafe. So what is it about talking about places like Southeast D.C., right? Ward 8, if you will, that people say, well, we need more officers to make us safe. I think we have to rethink what safety means in America.
Oh boy, who wants to rethink what safety means in America? Who's ready for a good rethinking? I hate this so much. Who do you trust more, this black woman in America or the retired police chief who is retired police chief from DC? Who do you think knows better? The guy who's saying what's not to like about tons more officers, or someone who is really just going off of vibes and stats on the government website? A website which is ironically probably managed by some liberal government worker in D.C.
Well, I'm doing it. I've had enough. I'm going to head for D.C. Got all my stuff packed up. Not coming back until we get some meaningful change. How about you join me? I'm going to take a couple weeks to get there. Let's see what we can do if we all meet up together. Peace.
You know, I'd join this guy only if I were also a filthy liberal boomer hippie who does not care about the future of this country. I was wondering how this guy could just take a couple weeks to go and do this, but I'm like, wait a minute, he's probably collecting Social Security. My boomer audience that somehow watched this far into the video, I'm really sorry. I believe in respecting my elders, but a lot of you guys are parasites. The greatest generation, definitely better than you guys, and more Republican too. There is not enough talk. Younger generations are blamed, and that's fair. A lot of Gen Z is stupid. Gen Alpha, very stupid. Millennials, cringe and stupid. A lot of blame is thrown onto us, but boomers are not that great themselves. Oddly enough, I do find myself defending Gen X a lot. Apparently, by a lot of metrics, they are actually the most conservative generation, interestingly enough. But anyways, liberals have to do enough with the generation war wedge issues. I love you guys. I love all my viewers. But liberals have to tell these lies because their political class needs their voter base to be distracted. They want all of America to be distracted, but they need America to be distracted. The financial elite of this country are hollowing out the productive backbone of this country, the working class, the American working class, through globalization and offshoring. And to basically deflect from that, to deflect from the material reality of how they are robbing us blind, they create nonsense social issues. And this is why Democrats, the left-wing political class, the establishment generally, the MSM, are pro-crime, are interested in denying what we obviously can see and hear to everyone, to the whole world, to the rest of the country, trying to mislead us instead of actually solving these problems. Because every social issue the left puts forward is just another cover for this economic robbery and the destruction of this country. These people are ultimately pro-crime. They're pro-disorder because they want to create a social climate where regular Americans cannot organize politically to solve these problems. This is a societal condition which is known in political science as anarcho-tyranny, most fully articulated by the late Sam Francis. And it is a situation where the government fails to uphold fundamental protective law. So violent crime, theft, things like that, run rampant, while regular law-abiding citizens are regulated within an inch of their life. Like during COVID, when you can get in trouble for not wearing a mask. You can see how, or not getting vaxxed, people got fired for that. I personally got fired for that. You see how it's this paradox of anarchy, of chaos in some senses, and then also tyranny, of unjust regulation. And this is to distract, demoralize, and destroy, frankly, the American people. But thankfully, we are now seeing some steps in the right direction with this cleanup of DC, with Capitol Police being put under federal control and Trump looking into ways to put the police forces of other major cities in this country under control. It may be a small step, but it is nonetheless a step in the right direction. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings on this issue. Consider subbing to me on Patreon if you feel like monetarily supporting this channel and being generous. And Red Channels will, of course, catch you in the next one.